Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about the Persona 5 raid coming to War of the Visions tomorrow. Now, you've probably heard by now that this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest raid we've ever had to deal with. But luckily, I think it's pretty accessible with some good team building ideas, and I'm going to include those team building ideas in this video. In fact, I'm going to include in the description a link to a whole bunch of different Japanese clears where you have everything from like level 30 Makoto to duo teams with Violet and Lucio. We're going to kind of just touch on all those. I'll show you my favorite ones, and we'll talk about just in general some tips for to beat this boss and look at the loot. And in fact, let's start by looking at the drop from this raid, or what at least we can farm. And I think the Jack Frost doll is a very, very good accessory. Like, I actually enjoy having accessories in my inventory that are not tied to the TMR slot, and this one brings a ton of good things. First of all, I think the defense variation of this is the best one. 15 defense on an accessory is pretty nice, and then it's a very, very good tank piece of gear. It has ice resistance 10, water resistance 10, and slash resistance 10 at that +5 level. You see plenty of ice and especially plenty of water in the game right now, and you see a lot of both of those as slashers. So for a tank, this is a phenomenal accessory that frees up your TMR slot if you want to run a TMR armor with some trust stones on it or something like that. Or if you're going like full tank where you go armor, accessory, TMR accessory, this will combo into those builds very, very well. So I do think this is a raid worth farming. When we look at the boss himself, here's the ugly big tongue boy Kamoshida. Note a couple of things, right? -10 to light. So light, teams will obviously have an advantage, and -10 to slash. The obvious answer to this raid is a light slashing team. And so if you're somebody who's built up Violet, you are good to go. Like Violet plus Lucio can absolutely get this done. I'll show a video of that here in a second. There are a couple things you have to be careful of even with that duo, but Violet will be a very, very nice person to run in this raid. In fact, she's a large bonus, and I'll throw those bonus numbers on the screen here. I think you want to build a team, whether it's a 2-man team or a 4-man team, around one of the Persona 5 units. And you might be thinking, but Orange A, I skipped Persona 5. I didn't pull for any of the units. You have Makoto, and even if she's only level 1, that might just be an advantage for you. In fact, having a level 1 Makoto might be one of the easiest ways to farm this raid that exists. In fact, let's start there. So here you see a video of Arc FFBE, who actually will show off a Makoto plus almost every other element in the game clearing this fight. So a link to this video will be in the description. If you go to his channel and watch it, click that button right there. Do what I just did and sub to this guy, especially if he's making quality videos like this. So I'll full screen it here. You can see the setup is a 99 Belric, a 120 Gilgamesh, and a 120 Laswell. Makoto exists in this group to bring the bonus. Remember, in raids, stacking bonuses is not like what it is in a Trials of Reckoning. You just get your biggest bonuses. You get a big bonus unit and a big bonus VC. So have Makoto in the group, and if a bonus VC doesn't fit on like your core 3 units clearing the fight, just have Makoto wear it. Putting her in this group is awesome. And so here you see, basically Gilgamesh, Laswell, and Belric are going to walk out here and slaughter the boss. If I'm commenting on like kind of what's happening here, Gilgamesh is going to be very, very useful for lowering slash resist on the enemies, while Belric and Laswell will be chaining. The things you're going to want to watch out for is on units that you want to pop like AP restoration items, bells, Lucio's TMR, something like that. Make sure you have their longer range skills disabled, so when they start the fight, they're not able to walk in range of a mob and hit them. Arc did this very well here. He had Laswell and Belric both pop their AP regeneration items from a distance, and then you can see they're just going to stand here and chain the boss to death. Gilgamesh is getting his chaining done by wearing the triple tick vision card, so that's some way he can be a chainer. And you can build basically your strongest element slashing chain of 3 with a Makoto as your 4th, and it's especially good if you're somebody who just has her at like level 1 or level 30, so she's not taking up turns because she's so dang slow she doesn't even get turns. That's one way you can get this done, and I think that's actually like the coolest, probably most free to play friendly. Okay, let's go to a more advanced run now. And for that one, I'm going to this Japanese YouTuber's channel. Again, this person seems to put out some quality content. I'm going to hit that sub button. If you go to these people's channels and watch their videos, even if you're discovering them for the first time, they probably appreciate the sub. Anyway, this setup is a Violet plus Lucio setup. So if you invested in Violet, I think you're going to be in a good spot here. I'm going to full screen this. You can see both of them have AP regeneration pieces of gear on, and then really going all in for that slashing light team right here. And then both versions of Odin are pretty clutch as well. So to clear a raid with a duo team, this is definitely the harder thing to do. Some raids in the past you could solo with one unit. I feel like those days are probably over for us. But if you can kill a raid boss with just 2 units, that's a big deal. Now watch how this fight starts. Note that both of them will pop their AP restoration gear to start the fight, so they have any kind of like range 3 or 4 move turned off. And then we're in range, we're going to start doing things. Lucio will lower the resist of the boss with his limit break right there. And then Violet is a really, really good PvE unit. She's good for chaining, so is Lucio. The AI in this case will just use the highest damaging attack. Sometimes that will be your chaining attacks. Sometimes that will be single target attacks. What you need to do to make your team work, if you don't have like the exact specific setup that this person does, is figure out which moves the AI likes to use. And if you would rather them use a chaining move instead, turn off other moves. You just kind of have to play with the AI a little bit in these situations. And you can see for this person, they had their units using big hitting single target moves first, and then they went to their chaining moves second. That's just how the AI prioritizes things. It goes for the most damage. Like TLDR here, it's very possible to beat this boss with 2 units. I'm going to include in the description of this video several 2-unit clears and some teams of 4 clearing this boss. Give them a watch, and if you watch these people's channels, toss them a like. It's a big help to smaller content creators if they can get discovered a little bit. So maybe let's help grow the community a little bit here. And since a lot of these players play in Japan, you might not have heard of them yet. So I hope this video was helpful to get your teams ready. Explore those other videos for a little bit deeper of a look. And good luck on the raid tomorrow. I think the gear is really worth it, and I'm excited to do some PvE content in this game. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.